Hey guys, thank you for tuning in for another episode with Building Empires Network. Today we have JR in the building.
Hello.
JR. And he's going to go over, his real estate journey, but he's going to talk about how he was able to build his rental portfolio with no money out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So here you have me, Andrea Cruz, Cristina Franco, and JR Reed.
JR Reed, yeah.
JR Reed.
Thank you, ladies, so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you
You're
for coming.
Thank you for coming last minute.
Yeah. I know, last minute. I'm like, hey there.
Last minute.
I know, I'm like, hey there. And he's like, how funny. Christina just texts me, hey there.
Yeah, that's literally.
Andrea calls him and I'm like, hey there. Yeah, we attack left to right.
I know. Hey, in case he doesn't respond to you, respond to me or somebody.
And don't say you don't have a car because Andrea will go pick you up.
Hey, I'll FaceTime him on Facebook.
Christina hits me up all like nice and sweet. She's like, oh, hey, it was great to see you this last weekend. Andrea calls me up. She's like, hey, you free tomorrow to do a podcast? Yes or no? I need to know right now. I'm like, dang, girl. Okay.
Like, not even, hey, how are you doing?
No,
just straight to the podcast.
Coming, right? So he's here. So
thank you for coming.
So where are we starting?
Sure.
Where would you like to start?
All right. Well, just kind of tell us a little bit how you got started in real estate and, kind of the journey, and then how did it take you to where you're at now?
Okay. So I got started in real estate with Andrew. So Andrew is my partner, Andrew Job.
Mm-hmm.
He and I got started back in 2018. We really wanted to buy rental properties.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the whole idea. We were both working in corporate America. We just wanted to invest on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we learned about real estate, the more we became frustrated with corporate America.
Right.
And we started meeting people like you ladies. When we went to networking events, we saw the kind of lifestyles that you all were having.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like,
I'm like, look at that.
I don't know.
You don't want to see my lifestyle work at home.
okay. Well, the lifestyle that is like pushed out by everybody, like
Right.
they're talking about how they go have lunches during the week and how they're making all this money doing wholesaling and things like that. And I'm like, this guy just made a $30,000 assignment and he's telling me he only worked like 20 hours last week, which when you get into wholesaling, you find out that's not true at all.
No.
But that's what kind of like pushed us over the edge, or pushed me over the edge of, hey, I'm going to start wholesaling to find rental properties because we were having no success with trying to find them on the MLS.
No.
Right.
Nothing ever worked out as far as the formulas went that we were learning from different books we were reading and that kind of thing. And what we found out, the only way to get deals was through wholesalers or through buying direct to seller. Yeah.
And like now, I feel like the best way is just direct to seller.
Direct to
with
seller.
Wholesalers, they're not.
No.
Well, maybe we're buying from you, and I guess it's good, but we try to.
It's tough. It's tough right now. Yeah, it's tough to find deals right now with how crazy the market is.
Yeah,
for sure.
Actually, a lot of us wholesalers on the wholesaling end, we're really monopolizing. We're like, hey, you got something? Hey, you got something? Because we've got buyers just calling us all the time. Hey, do you have something? Like I had that guy Michael called me back yesterday, and I'm like, let me see. But even though those people call me, I stay choosy to who I sell to, because I'll bring it to my closest circle before I take 100%. It out, because we all sit at the same table, so that's why we kind of just keep it here. Not being ugly, but it's true, because it's hard to go out there and find these deals,
right? And I think that's a lot going on right now. Like if wholesalers have their favorite buyers, they're gonna sell to them first before it's a new one. So it's good to go out there and network and meet people, friends. Take us out to lunch, all right?
Take a shot before we come into the podcast.
Come into the VIP bucket.
Get your chest burning before you come podcast.
I know, right?
It's like,
and now we're sweating.
I know, we're all sweaty. Like, oh my God.
So we did a little shot before getting started.
That's
just to kind of ease things
down. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. So that is nice. So how long have you been partners with Andrew?
So back in 2018, we were both working in corporate America, like I was saying, and one day I was like, we're going to buy rental properties, and I'm real like spontaneous and want to do things. You and I are very similar, and like I'm just going to run through a wall and nothing's going to stop me.
Yeah.
And so I like called him up. I was like, hey man, I've got like $55,000 that I could go buy rental properties with. You got $55,000 you can buy rental properties with? And he's like, yeah. So we were like, let's start a business and go do that. So we put it in a bank account. and we were trying to go find properties from there. What we ended up doing, it evolved into me quitting my job, leaving corporate America, starting to wholesale full time. That was our working capital, is how we started.
Yeah.
And then we just started acquiring properties from there for ourselves, and then selling properties to keep the whole machine going.
Yeah.
And that is the thing, you have to kind of sell some. Like, it's good that you know, a lot of people are like, oh, you should keep what you buy. And I'm like, I can't. I got to keep it moving because we got an overhead. And, you know, unless it makes sense, then I'll keep it like as a rental.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what you asked me a minute ago. Like, because I found 6 units, and you're like, why don't you keep it? Because
I did.
It gets to a point to where you're like, okay, do I want more? Or do I just want to go ahead and pass it on? You know, because for me, I won't see 20, 30,000 for
a long time,
5, 6, 7 years. So in wholesaling,
it's
immediate.
It's
right
immediate.
Yeah.
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah. So that's why, you know, I've kind of switched the gear to wholesaling. Yeah, and I'm usually a buy and hold. Yeah,
and I feel like a lot of investors, like flippers, that were flippers, like, you know, they were like, all I did was flip. Have turned it around. Now they're like, we don't do no flips. We're just wholesaling.
Heck yeah, we're the same way. We did some flips, and every time Andrew's like, I'm never doing another flip. Yeah, like, we're just wholesaling.
I know that's why I stick to wholesaling, because it's easy. Man. You guys don't know you're missing out on it.
I guess so.
Yeah, but flips are headaches. And then once you think you're done, you're not done. Oh, you still need to do this, you still need to do that. And you're like, what the heck?
I need to give you some of our we need to share some buyers list stuff with some of these hedge funds buyers. So we were doing a lot of hotels last year. A big chunk of our revenue was hotels. And what we're finding out now is a lot of our hedge fund buyers are giving us like 5 or 10K less than what we were projected to make if we wholetailed it. And so we're like, we don't even have to like,
that's good,
pull money out. We don't have to take risk on it or anything. We're just sending it to them now. And
and
that's a big chunk of what we're getting, where we're taking our hotels and just doing that now, as long as it meets a certain criteria.
Right. And I know there have to be in certain zip codes as well.
Yes, sir. It's more or less no flood zones, and as long as they're built after 1980.
Okay.
They'll pretty much buy anywhere in Houston, depending on who the hedge fund is.
Yeah. How are you handling it? Like let's say if you get a Kingwood or an Humble or a Huffman Crosby, because of the flood that came through, are they limiting purchases on those areas?
So anything in the 100-year floodplain, they won't touch.
Okay.
But there's a lot of hedge funds that will actually buy things in the 500-year floodplain.
Okay.
I don't even think they buy in Crosby, do they? It's like more in the areas like Houston, like
if it's suburbs. If it's a good house, it's not in the 100-year floodplain, they'll buy.
Okay.
And it's 1980 or newer.
Yeah, we actually sold one to it was close to San Antonio, but it was in a 350 range house.
Wow.
And we sold it to a hedge fund buyer, and it was a very kind of like close to retail, but we're like, oh, let's just try it to see. But it was a good neighborhood, and houses they were like for 500, 400, so it was worth it for them. So I know they're always good to have those hedge funds. We can definitely change that list
for sure. I gotta give my Dispo guy, Tyler, the Dispo King is what we call him. I mean, he's taken it to another level for us when it comes to that. So his whole thing is he'll put the hedge funds against each other, and he's like, hey, you know, I got this guy giving me this much money for it. What can you do?
Yeah.
And they'll go back and forth.
Yeah.
So I mean, he bids them up and everything.
Yeah, we do that too. But we were like, hey, we got an offer over asking price. What do you got?
What do you got?
I already know now. You see? That she done cut her own throat.
I know.
She done cut her own throat.
But these are the ones like with the hedge fund. I mean, obviously on some of these wholesale deals, they're already tight. But when we're dealing with those hedge funds,
Christina's a baller on a budget.
Yeah.
A baller on a budget.
Christina's a hedge fund, guys. When I mean that, if she's a hedge fund, I'm kidding. But, you know, those are the things that, you know, we'll like to start like, hey, you know, we got this and stuff. But look, on the one on White Oak Bend, I mean, that one was actually, I was hard to sell that one. So
you sold it to Cristina?
Yeah, and I wholesaled it out.
Yeah.
And she's turned around and co-wholesaled it?
Yeah, and then now we're refining it.
Hey, no,
and then we're selling it. So I was like,
no, and then she comes like, hey, well, we're at this price. And I'm like, hey, so it's the same way.
Yeah.
It goes the same way.
It does. It does.
And you gotta just That's how the game is.
That's how the game is.
Yeah.
But look, you made money off of it, so you're happy. She made money off of it, so she's
I'm
happy.
happy.
And then she's got an investor probably buying it.
He's really happy.
And he's pumped.
Yeah.
And he's happy. And then, she got the loan rolling in there.
Yeah, I got the loans rolling in there.
That's the coolest part about real estate is everybody can eat off of it and still be happy.
Yep. Yeah, it's the people that don't know how to play the game and you live in that scarce mentality. That's not going to be your last deal.
Exactly.
Not at all.
It's not. If you work it and you get out there, it's never going to be your last deal. Never. Yeah. You'll always have a deal, or somebody's always going to call you every single day.
100%.
Somebody's calling me with something every day. Either they want to buy or they want to sell. Every day.
I'm sure. Yeah. That's how I met you.
I know. I got to meet him in person. When was it?
A couple weeks ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we met, and he's like, "Hey, I'll send you my number." I said, "Okay." So he sent me his number, and it was funny because it said Ivy Investor. Ivy is a property that I have for moons, and the message was from 2020.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I was like, "Well, wait a minute, you're the Ivy Investor." Yeah, he's the Ivy Investor.
I called her up about a property she had. And I was like, "You want to sell this thing?" Or
yeah.
She's like, "Sure, I'll sell it to you at retail plus some money."
plus commission.
But see, I told you, was I nice?
You were sweet about it the whole time.
Hey, Christina's going back and look at the message before I say anything to him.
Right. Yeah, like, dang.
You were nice. You were super sweet.
Good. Because there's some that don't get that. There's some that don't. Yeah, but we get calls. Even as wholesalers, we get calls all day. Even on properties that aren't even mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was getting calls on that property we put the memo on.
Connolly.
I'm like, what the heck? Why am I getting called about Connolly?
Yeah, like what?
I'm like, it should have been mine.
Yeah. So we resolved that one.
You did.
We resolved that one. That one was good.
We got paid on that memo. So that was nice.
Oh, you got paid out on the memo.
It was 12,000.
It was 12,000. We got 66
on a memo.
On a memo.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, I don't want to run across you ladies. Y'all got a memo.
Well, it wasn't really. It was not like it was very unfair how they did it.
Yeah, it was real unfair.
We had it. Well, I had it under contract, and I was going to sell it to her.
Mm-hmm.
And then another buyer who actually lives across the street. Well, across.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey, I'm interested in buying it and all of that." Mm-hmm. So we're like, "Okay." So we were gonna wholesale it to him. Mm-hmm. Well, he went straight to the owner.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I was like, "No, well, screw that."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that one was a fair one. We're not like the ones that we put a memo and then we can close on it and then we want to get paid. So let me clarify that.
No, we were nice about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were able to handle it pretty well. Mm-hmm. I think it was kind of tough, but then they figured, hey, you know what?
They're on the right.
They're on the right thing because the guy, one was a realtor that went directly to the owner, and he knew better.
He definitely knew better.
He knew better, and then the other person, a couple of words here and there. He's a business owner, and he didn't need the heat nor the stress.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
no kidding.
Let's settle. Yeah. So we got lucky with that.
So y'all did get lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people just lose, especially when people just go behind their back and like, oh.
That's why you always have to file a memo.
You always have to file a memo.
But I will say this. So I don't know if y'all know who, what's Logan's last name? He's out of San Antonio. He deals with a lot of his whole strategy is really dirty deeds and dirty titles. And he goes in and fixes it and gets deals that way.
Oh.
So he taught a class a few weeks ago, and we sent our transaction coordinator, Monica, to go and take his class. Well, he has a couple of attorneys on staff, and then he's got a couple that he uses outside of his company. And there's some attorneys in San Antonio who are going through and looking at people's memos that they file.
Okay.
And if the memos aren't filed correctly, which it takes some specific language in the memo and specific language in the actual contract, then he's suing them for non-performance, and he's winning.
Wow.
So he's only doing it in Bexar County right now, but he says he's going to go other places. So make sure you take your memo and your purchase agreement to your title officer, not the title officer, whoever your fee attorney is that you're using for title, and make sure that it's meeting what needs to be met. Because what we're hearing is this guy's going out and he's just, he's going after people because it's an easy picking for him.
Wow.
So
Super
how is
easy.
he going around people like that file memos for non-performing if he was not the owner?
He's getting the owner to do it with him.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He's getting the owners to do it with him.
Damn. And who's paying for all the legal fees? He is?
Yeah, because he
Well,
can
he's
sue the
the
pants
attorney.
off people.
Yeah. So if you close or if you release the memo, are you okay?
If you release it, you're fine.
Okay, then we're good.
Yeah.
We were like, shit.
Damn it. So proud.
Yeah.
Tough. So just make sure you got the right language in your memos and the
Okay.
right language in your purchase agreement.
Okay.
Since y'all are my friends, I'll help y'all out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Just another
I'm
way
telling
around.
you, there's all kinds of stuff.
And that's
sure.
the power of like building a network.
Yeah.
Because we learn so much off of each other
For
all
sure.
the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey. And it could be the littlest things, you know,
Mhm.
like just having something on like one of your software on.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, you know, you're supposed to turn that on. Like, no way, you know. And it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Especially
Literally.
with like dialers and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They get tricky.
It gets real tricky.
But yeah, it's like we learn off of each other, so it's
Yeah.
always good to
For sure.
have a
I'm
big.
still not good at the dialer stuff yet. I've
Yeah.
been lucky just to play. I call it roulette on, whenever I look up something and I just call it myself and I get them. And I don't know how in the hell I get them, but I get them.
You get 'em?
That's all
I
that
get 'em.
matters.
That's
Yeah.
what. Yeah, it's tough. I sit there and we tell our people, hey, if I sit on the phone for a day, I'm going to get at least a deal.
Yeah.
Or like an
Mhm.
opportunity,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and it's tough to like give that to other people, but that only comes with time and,
Yeah.
and practice. And
Yeah.
they start to get it. Like our guys who've been around longer and longer,
Mhm.
it's the same thing. They get it now. But
Yeah.
it just takes time and experience. And
It does. And then too, they're building their pipeline, So
For
it's
sure.
like you're not gonna get that pipeline going in a month. You
Yeah.
gotta talk to people for a while. And then
Mhm.
it's kind of like I tell them, you plant the seed, right? Hey, this and that when you're ready. Because
Mhm.
I feel like if you try to go in there too quick, like, oh,
Yeah.
this, they're like, wait a minute. Like,
yeah, for
Mhm.
so
sure.
now we're like plant the seed, like kind of
Yeah.
like, hey, and then like leave.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's kind of like on a date and you're
Yeah.
like there, like planting the seed, and then it's like, all right.
You got to pull back a little
Yeah.
bit. You got to pull back a
You're
little
like, all right, I'll see you, and then you're not gonna tell them nothing about you're gonna call them or anything, so they're
Yeah.
gonna want more, right?
Sure.
So they're gonna call you.
Don't be easy.
I
Don't
know.
be easy.
Don't be easy.
Don't be easy.
Don't
Just
be
give them a little taste and then say, hey, call me later. okay, that didn't even sound right.
Just a little taste, huh?
Hey, just
Oh,
like,
man.
okay, yeah, we're interested, but think about it. and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
We might be interested. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If you come to this range.
So let me ask you this. How long have you been in real estate and like doing what you're doing now since you left corporate America?
Yeah. So it's kind of been a roller coaster of a ride. So I went full time in, I think it was August of 2019
Mm-hmm.
or September of 2019. And we just started building from there. So I started solopreneur kind of thing. Andrew was helping me out while he was in corporate America still.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted him to stay in corporate America during the first little bit while we bought properties until we got a good base.
Nice.
And we had our business kind of running. Then he left corporate America in 2021.
Uh-huh.
I remember when he left corporate America. You guys announced it.
Yeah, that was awesome. And so we had built a base, like a portfolio of properties. And by that time, we had enough, business as far as tax returns and that kind of thing to where I could buy properties now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With my self-employment tax
Mhm.
or self-employment tax returns,
Mhm.
which is a whole process in itself. But anyways,
Sorry, get into
Yeah,
that.
I'm not gonna get into that.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically from August of 2019 till now. And so when Andrew left corporate America, that's when really things kind of took off for us. We were already starting to build a team, but like he left and we went from doing, I think in 2020 we did like 350K in revenue or something like that.
Yeah.
To like now we're well into multiple millions. On track for multiple millions per year now. So
Nice.
So almost 2.5, 3 years.
yeah.
Wow, that's a
years.
quick. Yeah. So see, guys, anything's possible.
Anything's possible. Hey, Christina.
Hey, Cristina.
Yeah, so anything's possible. So, I mean, you just got to stay focused. And it does, in a sense, it does take a team.
It has to. You have to.
Yeah.
It has to. And I think that was my slow growth, It was my slow growth. And then when I started wholesaling with my daughter-in-law, then everything just started flying left and right. But I wasn't wholesaling to sell at the time. I was wholesaling to keep and then flip.
Yep.
You know, I really didn't. I will say this, even though I was taught by one of the greatest, AC Ramos. I mean, it is, you know, it's old and been there for a long time. He showed me the basics, and I still skipped out because I thought at the time acquiring, you know, was where it was at that time. Even though I was broke as hell, you know, because when you buy property, you're investing 100, 200 cash, you know, and then waiting on that return.
Yeah.
So when he comes at you with no money, you need to ride that, you know, you need to ride that roller coaster, because you're gonna pick up something every time you go around. With me, if I'm making $1 million a year at 100, I can only have 10 houses.
That's right.
And I really can't take half of that because of repairs, taxes, everything else, and that, you know, that extra money you need to have in the bank. So when you're using your own capital, you limit yourself, because like they say, if you know what you're collecting, something's wrong.
Yeah.
If you can calculate, I don't care if it's $1 million a year, if you can calculate what you're doing, something's wrong. You should always have some type of other, what do you call it? Revenue coming in, another cash flow.
You mean like a side,
like a side
hustle?
something? Yeah. Because, you know, if I didn't have the store during COVID,
really?
That's the same
hell
thing
yeah,
with my
would have been
hair.
up Shit Creek.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Because you had so many people not paying, or
so many people not
Really?
paying.
oh wow,
Yeah, like pretty much 75%. Promise
What?
God.
And she has a lot of,
Holy
and she has a lot of units.
And I have a lot of
so
units. So, you know, over let's just say over 300, 400, 500 families not paying. And those are my doors. Yeah.
Jeez.
And so you still have to pay the water. They still wanted to collect on taxes.
Of course.
They didn't
Of course.
defer them. They didn't defer them. They still have their penalties. Your insurance, your water, whatever, electricity, everything.
The
was
bank still
being
wanted
paid.
to get paid.
And the bank still wanted to get paid. They didn't stop foreclosure.
No,
they didn't. So, but what they did stop was rent. That really didn't make any sense to me.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And all these checks coming in to these people, and they weren't worried.
They weren't paying their rent.
They weren't paying their rent. I saw a bunch of new cars, a whole lot of heads of hair. And, you know, nails, hair, they were looking good from home. Yeah, you know, but they were not paying
Got my new
their
weave
rent.
with Christina's rent.
It's like, hair Christina. I'm like, shit.
Thank you, Christina.
I know.
You should have opened up a wig shop.
I should have. Then I would have really
made right there.
But one of the things that did work, and it was, you know, just God working in my favor, you know, just looking at it like, what can you do?
Yep.
You can't fight with these people.
No.
You just have to say, okay, go with it, you know? So the store just kept flowing. Everybody was home fixing stuff. So I stayed afloat with that.
That's crazy.
I stayed totally afloat. Everybody was building. The construction world was still working.
For sure.
I'll tell you what, they were still selling furniture.
Were they?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because people were buying. I bought my daughter's bed.
Yeah.
It's kind of they were home. I built a pool.
Yeah, she built a pool.
It was so hot. I was like, we're gonna be in here. Might as well. The kids, you know, they were like,
outside.
Go
in the pool, kids.
Yeah, party in the backyard.
Yeah. So it was a different just a different time for everybody during that year and a half. People say it was a year. It was really 2 years, because it started at the end of 19. Everybody started getting sick early 20.
Yep.
You know, then 21.
I got sick in 2019 when I came back from Tampa. It was right before COVID was actually COVID. I think it was like in China still, but some of it was still here.
It was definitely here.
It was definitely here.
I was dying. It was bad, but I didn't know it was COVID.
Yeah.
But it took me a while to recover.
Wow.
I went to the hospital because I couldn't breathe. I'm like,
no
man,
way.
Yeah. I was like, what kind of freaking? They're like, oh, it's probably the flu, and I'm like, what kind of flu is this?
Yeah.
But I couldn't breathe. So you normally don't, you know, with the flu, it's not bad. So
when was that? What
20? That was in 2019, like in December.
Wow.
It was the last quarter because we would go to Tampa every quarter. And then I was just coming back from Tampa, from the airport. I must have got it there.
That's crazy.
And I was sick so bad.
Wow.
So bad.
You got COVID before COVID was a thing.
Yeah. Of course, Andrea always gets something before it's a thing.
When you play lotto.
I know, right? I'm like, kind of win the lottery before lottery was a thing.
So tell us this: what is it that's different with the no money down? Is there a certain program, or you're just dealing with hedge funds?
So wholesaling, we're dealing with hedge funds, but when it came to our rental portfolio, the hedge funds didn't come into play until like end of last year.
Yeah.
So for our wholesaling side, so we have two businesses. We have our wholesaling business, which is really our acquisitions business. That's how we get all of our deals from that side. And then we have our rental portfolio, which is where we're
keeping
things, stacking properties, that kind of thing.
Now, what about, do you guys have like, you know, say, for example, if you want to wholesale something to yourself, not to keep as a rental, but maybe flip it or wholesale, do you guys use a different company or do you guys use your rental company?
So we have a bunch of different entities. We do sometimes, you know, wholesale things to ourselves. Not every single time we keep one. We wholesale something to ourselves, and then we do the whole rental portfolio. But the way we were able to go back to your question, the way we were able to buy so many properties with no money out of pocket is we use other people's money. So real estate is an other people's money business. And so when you find the kind of lenders who will let you do 100%, you know, they'll let you borrow 100% of your purchase price, 100% of your rehab, and then you can go and refinance out of that. That's how you buy properties with no money down.
Right.
Because you've got to be, but the most important part of that is your numbers have to make sense on the buy side.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you got to be all in at the 75% of ARV range with your rehab and your purchase price. And that's how you can do the whole no money.
So it kind of sounds like for rental, you got to kind of get it a little bit cheaper, right? Because you're saying you have to be 75% already off fixed.
Yep. So I'll tell you, I mean, most of our rental properties that we buy, we're buying them very deep. You have to.
Yeah. Now, what does the process look like? Okay, so tell us the process from step one. You buy the property, and that's going to be with a different lender, obviously, right?
Right.
And then you fix the property.
So so you're going to buy the property. You're going to go to the wholesaler. You're going to buy the property from the wholesaler.
Right.
So you're going to need a lender for buying that property. If you want to do it no money out of pocket, that lender needs to also lend you the rehab money.
Right.
Or you have another lender that's going to
the gap lender.
The gap lender that's going to lend you the actual money for rehab. So once you rehab the property and then you rent it out, that's when you go refinance the property. So when you go to refinance the property, what you borrowed from your first lender for the rehab and the purchase price, that'll all get refinanced out when you go to put a regular mortgage on it. Whether you're doing a qualified mortgage or a non-qualified mortgage, but we don't have to get into all that.
Yeah.
Well, now, whenever you're going to refinance, what are the things they ask you?
Yeah. So who are you talking about? The mortgage
second
company?
lender. Yeah.
So,
the one you're refinancing.
Yeah. So that's why we had Andrew working for so long in corporate America.
Credit, right.
That W-2 income is
that's always
awesome.
Yeah.
To get to refinance with. W-2 income is amazing. Buying houses with W-2 income is great. When you go to the self-employment side,
it's always hard.
This is where it gets really complicated. They're asking for, you know, all your bank statements, all of your tax returns, what's your mother's maiden name, what's your mother's blood type. Like they want everything.
Now, what if you did a non-Q?
Non-QM.
Yeah.
So that's what we do now. We do a lot of non-QMs where it's they still want, you know, stuff like bank statements, but it's not as difficult as getting the qualified mortgage. So they're not asking for tax returns. They're not asking for all that crazy stuff. They just want, hey, show us your rent roll for the property. So they want it to be rented out for, I think, at least 1 or 2 months.
Okay.
And so prove that you're actually receiving rent.
Okay.
Get the appraisal done. And then I think they want like 3 months of bank statements, and they pretty much.
Oh, wow. That's pretty easy.
So is that on a 75 or 85?
75% of ARV.
Yeah. So 75% of ARV is going to be, if it was 100, they're going to lend you 75, and you'll probably end up putting 25 down. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's where that goes.
But the way we're doing it is, we're all in at 75%.
You don't have to put nothing down.
So we're not putting anything down. And sometimes, we're getting a little bit of money back when we refinance.
That's
nice.
Right. You guys do that with the money back.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
you got a really good discount.
Got a really good discount.
So it's very important that you know how to run those numbers because then you're going to come out of pocket, if you don't do it right.
For sure.
Yeah. It's been hard though, because about 2 months ago, it was easy because like I was still finding the houses like 49, 35, 21. And there was enough for the buyer to have the rehab money and everything in that 75%.
I look at Cristina, she's like 49, 21, 30. I'm like, where are you finding these houses? Because
I told you to come with me.
In Beaumont or what?
I know. I'm like, no. I mean, no, these were in good areas. These were, most in the north side, like 77009, Brooks
That's a good
Smith,
area.
68. That's like, where in the hell did she find this? And that one ended up being an owner finance.
Wow.
Yeah, owner finance, and because they were already going to lose it in their head. And then the other one, like 21,000, was Galena Park, and just different stuff like that. So it's just they're still in good community areas,
right?
Yeah,
that's what you want.
Yeah, good community areas, because I did have one 77026 over there off of Sayers. Took me forever to sell, and then since that oil spill or whatever was going on, remember the big oil spill? Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the oil spill was from the it was like off of Crane by the railroad track. So there's a lot of people with pending lawsuits.
Really? I'm buying a house off Sayers right now.
Really? Yeah.
I got one in Hudson. Is it close in Hutton Street?
No, it's not that close to Hutton. Mm-hmm. It's mostly Sayers, Leffingweld. Oh my God. Like anything that runs over right there by the railroad track.
Really?
Yeah, within a mile.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was a seepage in the dirt.
Take those numbers again,
right.
Yeah, there was a seepage in the dirt, and that's why I was scared when I bought Creston from y'all. I was like, shit, whatever. But they, we had to get a soil test, and then they let us. They find it. Yeah, we had to get those things are expensive.
Soil tests are really expensive,
and we had to get a soil test to sell Creston. And it's crazy because I had
to sell Creston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we had it right behind the railroad track.
Right. Yeah, it was right on the railroad track. So,
crazy.
Yeah, so right now that I have like those, I think I have like 10 units on the track, right behind the track, and then I've got 26 on the other side of the track. And since it's like a whole block and a half down, it affects both of my apartment complexes. So there was people like trying to file lawsuits from years ago, but I'm like, I don't even have any of your stuff, I don't know what to tell you. Pull out your receipts, But
they're trying to file lawsuits against you because of the whole
no,
thing?
Actually the railroad. Yeah, the railroad, but they needed proof that they lived there.
Oh, so they wanted like rent receipts.
Yeah, like I think it was from 98 and before, because I bought those I think in 93 or 94. And then I had bought a house right next to it from AC, and then another house from this other lady. So it's like you have this whole block of houses, and all these people are coming from everywhere because it came out on the news. Mm-hmm. If you ever lived here, you possibly have a claim, and everybody came out.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Everyone came out.
Wild.
Yeah, but going back to Creston, we had to do a soil test on Creston.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had to do a soil test, and everything came out okay. But it was some type of oil that they were using on the wood, so that it wouldn't rot.
Creosote.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that it went in there, and it went into the water.
It's some nasty stuff.
Yeah, and it affected a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dang, so that was all 77026. So watch Sayers.
Okay.
Watch Sayers.
So if anybody wants to buy a house on Sayers Street, 77026, I got one.
Yeah.
Hey, check your DM. No,
yeah. Yeah. So that was one of the things there. And I mean, but everything else has been okay. The only thing that I see a lot with the lenders are still lending. That's not the problem. Yes, the interest rate has gone up, boo-hoo, whatever. But we're used to 8, 10, and 9 and 12%. I mean,
You are.
On this end.
That to me is like, what?
But on flips, are you getting it lower?
Well, I'm getting mine for 14 and on hard money. Well, private lending, but it's no points.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's not bad.
No points, and I'm in and out like in less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah. That's not too bad. That's not bad.
So, but I'm in and out. But for people that are gonna be there for a while,
girl, that tequila's got me. Hot flash.
It's a little warm too.
It is
warm.
I'm like, oh my god.
Sorry, everyone's also
hot flash.
Christina, you're not old enough to be having a hot flash.
Yeah, I am.
Hey, everyone's looking like, why do they look all sweaty?
Some drunks. We're all shiny.
I know. I'm like looking at myself.
Did we say 1 shot or was it 5 shots?
I know, right?
Oh man.
It was half a cup. So
it was a half a cup. It was a half a cup, real quick. It went down fast.
And it's definitely kicking in now. I'm like,
like I'm looking at it, like, yeah, okay. Oh, shit.
Turn the bed on.
I know.
Hey, actually put it more over here. So, but yeah. So, question now: if you have you obviously did your first one,
right?
How does it work with your second one? Does that affect, or is there anything else you have to show?
Yeah. So the more you do, the more they start digging into things like DSCR, which is basically how much debt to income you have coming in as a business. And those are things that they really start digging into whenever you start buying multiple properties. So that's like when we do our non-QMs, that's another thing. They want to know everything that we have. The cool part about a lot of non-QMs, hope my lender's not watching. You don't really have to. I mean, they'll tell you what they see.
Yeah.
And so you're like, yeah, that's what I have. I don't have anything else.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. No Mercedes or anything.
Yeah. They're like, so how many rental properties did you have? Like, well, how many did you see?
What did you see?
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
No, so DSCR becomes an actual thing. And so they want to know how many rental properties you have, how much money you're bringing in for those rental properties, how much debt do you have against those rental properties.
Okay.
That also becomes a factor in it. But it's not, with the non-QMs, as long as you have it rented out, and as long as you're in at the right rate as far as ARV percentage, they'll pretty much give you a loan.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been, it's been fair, I think, but the prices on some of these houses are high.
That's what makes it tough to be a good rental now. Yeah,
it's really high. That's why
I closed on a good one today. It's an Humble, and I got it for $120.
Oh, girl,
it's a 2-story. You don't even find houses for $120.
Good for you.
I know. Wow. So that one I was gonna consider keeping as a rental.
Yeah,
because ARV is like $265.
Yeah, it's high out there, and they sell.
Yeah,
they sell. The inventory was saturated when I was out there last year, and
it's dried up.
It's dried up. There's not very much, but people are still trying to haggle, prices, but because of course their interest isn't where they thought it was going to be. And a lot of people have made the move. I mean, they're already moving into, we're moving, people's mindset in June. I make sure I have inventory for June. Like, this is the month that I go out and I really start banging on doors and calling people and everything, because June, July, and August are my months. Yeah. And I try to at least get 30.
Hey, after that, she don't call you. Hey, she's like, we're like, what happened to Cristina?
She's working. She's actually working.
Damn, those are like summer times. Yeah. And then a lot of people go on vacation, so they're not as competitive.
Yeah. But the thing is, there's a lot of people that they're not going to take vacations because they rather get the house and move.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And so that's when we would move. When we were younger, that's when we would move, is in the summer.
Everybody's going to move in the summer.
As kids, And as long as you're in the same zip code, Humble's going to be good, because if you go into the Humble pages, you're going to see people that are already looking to want to move and just post the house in there. Yeah. And somebody may be renting and they finally got approved, and there's your house. Boom. Of course, it's going to have to be conventional unless you're just going to go in and fix it, but
Yeah, but it's not even in bad conditions. I can sell it the way it is.
See, there you go. So it's not even.
It's about finding the right person.
Just finding the right person.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was even thinking about, getting like my license for like lending, like to start, because it's like you connect all the dots. Like, you got the lending, and then you get, I was thinking about it. I want to just stay with everything going on. Like, oh yeah, do this. Now I'm doing this. It's like hard to kind of, but that is because it just kind of, you connect the dots.
Yeah.
And these are for like retail buyers, you know.
Yeah,
so it's like,
sure.
hey, you need a loan, great, you got the loan, now I got the house, you know. So because I was working with another guy, but it's kind of everyone's busy, you know what I mean. So it's like, man, it's like you got to bring everything in house.
Yeah, you do. You really do.
You know, you connect with people, but they're like, well, hey, you know, you reach out like, hey, well, I got this house, and then they're busy, and then they don't get back, so it doesn't. So I'm like, I might as well just
have done it myself.
Do it.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, and you're gonna work it faster.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you put your, like a seller, you're already working with the seller, and there you like butter them up, and then you take them to somebody else, and then they screw something up, and you're like, oh shit, all that work I did.
Yeah.
So I try to keep everything in house because you have more like control.
For sure. 100%.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is like, you know, with me, it's been what you're saying with the lending side. It's been good because with what I would make with 5 or 6 people, I've made with 3 people.
Really?
Yeah, with 3 people.
What kind of lending are you doing?
Myself.
Just for owner finance or?
No. It's hard money, but it's with, you know, private lenders like out of Ohio, Georgia. Like I'm not in this niche because right now it's saturated.
Right.
In Georgia, Ohio, Arizona, they don't have that many networking events like this. So those people are looking for people like us.
Private
like literally, she and I were going to go sign a check, and the guy called me, you know, and he's out of Michigan. I think he said Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's out of Michigan, and he's like, please, you know, I've got my lines of credit. I've got this. I've got that. That's fine if he's got lines of credit. So I know where and he'll tell me. The one thing I always say is if you ask somebody, you know, how much money you got to invest, everybody's so like private. They're not going to tell you.
For sure.
Yeah.
You put a for sale sign or out in the street in the front of a house that's not even yours, and they look at it. They're like, well, how much you want? Well, it's this much. How much you got? They're going to tell you.
Yeah.
They'll tell you the whole thing immediately.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, then you know what you're working with. But if some people can't tell me what they have, then I don't know where to even start with you. You know, don't waste my time. You know, but yeah, so I work with those hard money people, and
so you're taking money from people out there, or you're loaning money to people there?
No. I'm taking people from out there, and I'm connecting them to this buyer. I get my 2-3 points, whatever. Yeah, and then not just that, the buyer also pays me a fee. For doing it all for him.
Of course.
Yeah. So I'm working for the person, and I'm working for this person.
That's awesome.
So it's like 4 or 5 points. It's almost, you know, I mean, on $200,000-$300,000.
It adds up quick.
It adds up. Yeah. You know.
Very
good. For you.
So then
she's very creative on how she makes
money. How do you
money.
do all
I
this?
love it.
How do you do? Hold on. I got a question. How, Cristina?
Hey, let's interview Cristina.
Let's interview Cristina now. I wanted to ask you this for a while. So, how do you do all of this real estate stuff of owning all these apartment buildings and all the different properties, plus running the stores, plus I think you told me you're starting a steel company.
No, it's already.
Okay, you've already started. Yeah. My bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, and then she has also credit card machines.
Yeah, credit card machines.
Where she gets a fee of all that, and
everything that's being sold.
And then the salons. So how do you
water?
Plus you're doing water. What?
Water company.
She has a water company.
Yeah, coastal waters.
Okay, so you got a water company. How do you do all that and then find time to wholesale and put deals together, like with the hard money stuff and all that?
One day when I was about to crack, I was like, what the hell am I doing? I have all this stuff coming in. I just decided that I was going to either take a project one day at a time or 1 week at a time. So this week is real estate. And I'm very I don't know, hormonal, I guess. I'm older. So, you know, you go through things where you get sick of doing what you're doing. Hair. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I love it. But you go do.
I'm a hairstylist.
Yeah, she's a hairstylist, but she'll still go do hair with her good clients. You know what I'm saying? But to do new clients or whatever, you're just like, do I really want to do this?
I'm not doing new clients.
Yeah, but to do your.
I got Christina's hair.
Yeah. She skipped on me a couple months, and they burned my hair off. Y'all remember my hair was down here and
a lot
burnt
of them,
off to my roots.
Clients are like, Andrea, please.
Really?
Yeah. Like literally, she's got a good hand. So one of the things was, it was like, okay, I have to start, dividing this up. And I remember when I had a daycare center. Yeah, I had a daycare center.
Of course you did.
Years ago. Yes, I did. I had these, 2 little places, and it was really, I love daycare, but it's too many responsibilities, a big liability. But I loved it. I remember one lady saying, "We need to divide to conquer." And her words have stuck in my head since I saw what she did. She divided the kids up, divided the ladies up. Instead of them all standing in a corner, she put them all in one specific place. She was a director there, and I saw it work. So I kind of just married that into what I was doing, and that's what I do now. Like I let the businesses run, and if it needs my attention, I go in. I'm always mad when I go
You're always
in.
mad?
Yeah, because I see things that aren't being done the way I want to do them. But that's not what successful business people do. They don't always run their businesses. They're leaders. And I had to learn to let some of that go and lead and not try to guide them.
Got you.
I had to learn to lead. So now the water company, every summer I get it going, and I do that myself. That's my fun time for summer.
The water company is your fun time?
That's my fun time. I bottle water, and then I just put them at the stores, and I make my little income, and I save that for my grandkids.
Okay.
So
I remember you telling me about this. Your grandkids go out and
my
sell
grandkids go out, sell waters, or my nieces, nephews, whoever's out there. I give them something to do for summer.
Okay.
And they're little business women, because my little grandbabies, they sell eggs. Mm-hmm. They go to their grandma's house and steal all the eggs and sell them for her chickens.
That's hilarious.
That is funny.
But what I have learned is if you divide it all up. So like I said, maybe Monday, I'm looking up properties, and I'm just getting them all down and researching the properties, and I pick the ones I want.
Okay.
And then Wednesday, I'll give my eyes a rest. And then Wednesday, I'll just start calling them all.
Okay.
And then that's it for real estate.
Okay.
So if I'm doing something in the salon, the body sculpting or whatever, make 2, 3, 4, 5 appointments, get that out of my system. Right. I'm very, I don't know. It's a good and a bad thing when you can
sit still.
No,
that's how I am.
Yeah, it's a good and a bad thing when you know so freaking much.
Yeah.
A car will be passing by. My grandpa was a mechanic.
Okay.
And I'll hear, I said, he needs to go ahead and go change his oil, his pistons. Or I hear clack, clack, clack. Hey, he needs to go check his ball joints or whatever, because I think he's about to lose an arm. Yeah. So it's like I've done all that,
Yeah.
And so it's like, you can't take me inside of a house and I look at the corners and I'm just like, that's off a quarter,
Right.
because it's almost crazy, because I've learned so much. My grandfather always told me there's nothing you can't do.
Sure.
And so I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do everything. But sales have always been my thing. Not just because of the kill of the sell, actually seeing people happy.
Yeah, for sure.
When you do their body, when, you give them a refreshing water, when you watch their kid and the kids are all happy when they see you,
sure.
All that stuff. You sell a house and they're just so grateful, for that,
for sure.
And so that's what feeds my soul. Mm-hmm. So I did have to learn, because I was also getting bitter of having so much stuff that I had to just kind of like put myself back. Like my son, Ephraim, he pretty much runs all the machinery and stuff for the sheet metal.
Okay.
So, let's say a company comes in, like they want a specific red or blue company and they want certain sizes, he already has it all set up.
Okay.
I just have to trust that he does it all and he's done it thus far. You know what I'm saying?
That's his thing.
That's his thing.
And you let him do it.
And he does it.
Yeah.
She just collects the checks.
Yeah. I collect the bills. So that's one of the main things that I did, was to really divide it all up to conquer what I wanted to do, because it is kind of crazy, investing in so many things, and you want to see return, but sometimes you have to learn that you're not always going to get your returns the way you want. Thank God I have not lost. Thank God, because I do stay involved enough. there's a scripture in the Bible where, you know, you're supposed to work your land, you know, so I believe that my hands need to work my land, you know, those are my blessings. And if I just go in and touch it and go, at least I made myself present, you know, and to go see those things. So I think that's very important, but I don't know how I really keep up with so much, but I do get like, when I start to feel frustrated about real estate, I'll just switch gears.
Go do something else.
Go do something else. Body sculpting.
Yeah.
So you do body sculpting?
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I've done that for so long, you know, and I get out and I come back in, but it's not a business that, because some of these businesses, just like some like taxes, some of these businesses are seasonal.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to carry a whole year, you know, paying overhead for a water company when it's really, everybody's thirsty when it's hot. Who's going to buy coffee in the summer? So in the winter, it's coffee. And in the summer, it's waters. You see?
So you got a coffee business too?
Oh, yes.
Of course you do.
Yes, I do. I've been blessed because I have the stores. So in the locations, I'll go and put them at the good locations, you know?
Okay.
And I had Coke machines and stuff, but I really wasn't.
You have one of a vending machine in one of your
That's
stores.
what we were saying, the vending machines. And, you know, and even those can be a headache because, you know.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, especially when somebody says, oh, I lost money. And I was like, oh, no. So it's like, there you go. You know, there you go. And so that's what's actually worked for me. That was a long fucking explanation.
So to summarize, it sounds like you have the businesses running themselves. So somebody's there managing that part of the business or that business without you.
Without me.
And you just come in when there's issues.
Yeah.
And really you're just coming to fix stuff.
That's it.
Okay.
And I'll go in. No one ever knows when I'm coming because I just show up and I check the books and it's real easy. Rent receipts. Oh God, that feels so good.
Way better.
It's not way better.
We just got the fan.
Yeah, we just got the fan. Oh, hold on. Yeah, we just got the fan. Oh God, that feels so good. Okay. So that's how, you know, I do it. I just let them run until they need me. When I do come, it's just like the apartments. I'm able to see everything. Now we have the little CRM stuff. So I'm able to see from home, or, you know, I'll ask questions. When somebody's not answering the phone, then they come straight to me. So then I'm able to see that. Now, when that happens, I have to see what's really going on there, you know, and sometimes I have fits, but I try not to as much.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of loud.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you tough to work for?
I don't think that I'm tough to work for. I think I just expect something to be done because I would not do less. Jesus's gone to the stores and has seen me with a ponytail, sweeping the whole concrete thing and picking up trash and, you know, people offering me water. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for buying my water. And, you know, and I just want to see kind of from behind the scenes how things are working because I want to make sure that these people have a flow and I'm not expecting them to do something that I could not physically do.
Right.
And not just on one day pop in, but like for 2-3 weeks, a month and do it.
Really understand.
Yeah, really understand what's going on. I did that for a real long time. And then after COVID happened is when I just kind of like sat back because I got COVID 3 times. I was like dead for a whole year. You know, I was really sick. And then, you know, my brother passed from COVID. That took a whole nother year off of me. So for the past 2 years, I kind of sat steadfast, but I know that it's time in a realistic world. I need to come back and get out of my egg. My shell has already cracked. It's time I got to get out and do my thing.
You can only last so long doing that.
Yeah.
Your personality. For
sure. So it's like, because I was probably just in the room talking to myself because I talk so much. So I was in the room talking to myself. Oh God, if y'all cold callers called me, I'm like, hey.
It's true. That's how I met her.
That's how.
I first conversation I had with Cristina on a cold call was like 35-minute, 40-minute conversation. Yes.
He's probably right. And you did call me at that time. It was in that time. Yeah, it sure was. It was 2020. It was crazy. So yeah, I was real winded, probably like right now. But that's just how I've kept up with it. I don't look at the business like, you know, I'm a multi-millionaire and all this stuff.
Multi-billionaire.
that I'm upgoing. I don't look at myself like that, because some of the greatest people that I've associated with in my life have been the people that I grew up with.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I keep my circle very small. And I relate with Andrea because she's so much like me when I was there in a younger age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I see her dedication, carrying her kids, coming back, because now they're more, self-efficient. They're bigger. Yeah. Her daughter's driving.
They're bigger, but that means they bug more.
That too. But I've seen her, and when I really sit back and I analyze, I'm always the person in the back of the room.
Yeah.
Looking to see how everybody treats every single body.
For sure.
And when they find out, who she or whoever is, and then you want to approach me, she'll tell you. That's when I'm a rude ass.
Really?
I'm like, yeah. That's when you're going to get the treatment that you gave everybody else.
For sure.
Yeah. Because I'm not interested in communicating with you at all. And I won't break that barrier.
Really?
And one of the things I really admire about her is that, like, she's so humble.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, this girl, like, she's done it all, has all these businesses, and she's just like herself.
Just super down to earth.
Yeah, I'm Mexican. I just like to work.
I'm
Mexican. I just like to work.
We go eat. We're like eating at a taco stand
because that's what
a little bit of dirt.
Yeah, it's okay. Move the fly. Move the fly.
Exactly.
It's okay. To still just be yourself, because I have noticed so many people that they lose themselves.
For sure.
One of my employees needed a car, and I went with her to a car lot, and the lady, she was there, she got off, she went to talk to her husband, and she treated us like we were shit. And I was like, girl, you do not need a car. You do not need to fund this lady in any kind of way.
Right.
And I knew her husband because he went to a networking event.
Oh, the lady's husband.
But when I walked in, he was saying hello or whatever, and she was being so rude and demeaning. I looked at her husband. I said, it's not the business that you need to watch. It's your wife.
Dang.
And I walked out on both of them. I was like, because I'm not going to let you just treat me like that.
For sure. There's no reason.
Yeah, it's not even me, because I know where I stand. Nothing's going to change me, but you're not going to treat her.
For sure.
When she's already in a predicament and you're going to treat her different, like, no. You don't treat people like that. You just don't. So that was one thing. Yeah. He 100%. saw me at a networking event. It was in November, and he just like kind of hid.
That's funny.
Yeah.
A lot of people hid from Cristina when they see her at networking.
Really?
They're like,
I'm not.
Why?
No,
you're so nice to me. I can't imagine you being mean.
I think what it is, it's just, at the level you met me at, I mean, you just met me as me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And some people, you kind of already knew who I was. You know what I'm saying? Because I was introduced and you remember the name. So you already knew where I was at. But some people walk up and they act real rude. Like, if they don't see you on the stage, they think that you're nobody.
That's
true. And you're like, I chose to support the person on the stage.
100%.
That's the only reason I go.
100%.
Only reason, because if I don't like you, I won't show up. And I'll tell them, and they'll be like, hey girl, I'll go, you go. And I'll just be like, no. Yeah, actually, Jackie, I got to answer you. Yeah, I'll see you there.
She's going.
I'm supporting Jackie. But I think that's the best way to be. I think the world's so full of people that are so full of shit. It wastes everybody's time.
With social media and everything like that. It's
or if you don't have like money or something, or you're not flashy, you're not sure.
That's true.
And there's so many people out there that are just pretending. I mean,
that's 90%.
It's 90% of social media.
Sure.
It's not what it is. And I will tell you the truth. Yes, you can become a millionaire,
100%.
but if you don't know how to educate yourself financially, and do things right, you're going to have IRS problems. As fast as you got in is as fast as they'll take your ass out, because you have to educate yourself in every area. It's not just this way.
Or real estate, or just wholesaling. You
everything.
Have to educate your taxes.
Yes.
If you're going to hire people, W-2. I just started putting everybody on W-2 myself.
Yeah.
And before I was 1099 everything. And it backfired on me, because now I'm like,
What am I gonna do?
$10.99. I don't even know. They're all out there. It's like all these kids.
Literally. All these kids. Who got kids working for you?
I do have kids working for me. But what I'm saying is, I didn't have my tax organized.
Yeah.
And now, you know, it's like,
it's time.
Keeping your numbers straight is important.
Yeah, and I had well, you know, they went in my bank account.
Yeah.
And they did a levy on my account.
Oh, yeah, levies. Yeah, levies.
Yeah, that hurt a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
And you know what's sad is that when people get those things, their ego gets even bigger. Like, you know, like they're
I got hit with a levy.
No, yeah, like they're too proud. They're too proud.
That is nothing to be proud of.
No, they're too proud to say, "Hey, I made a mistake. Can you help me?"
Yeah,
and
that's
you know,
the problem.
yeah. And I turned to people and I said, "Hey, can you help me? Because I don't know how to file with all these wholesales I did, with all these flips I did. I don't understand what I did wrong. The 1031 exchanges. I had a lot of capital gains I had to pay. I didn't understand, and it's okay to say I didn't know."
Yeah,
100%.
I didn't know.
Because I'm going to be the person to tell everybody, hey, this can happen, and be honest, because it happens. And it's not, oh, you dumb broad. No, it
happens to everybody. Know. I mean, nobody's never not going to make any mistakes.
No.
Everybody wants to be a millionaire, but nobody wants to deal with the hassles.
With the hassles,
to get there. Mm-hmm. Man, it's just a different level. You want to be a millionaire, no matter what it is, whether it's real estate, whether it's any kind of business, you have to perform at a different level. And there's just so much more responsibility.
Yeah. And it doesn't go away either. Like you're like, hey, the higher the level, the more pressure, the more stress.
100%.
And that a lot of people think like, oh, once I become the CEO of my company, like that's more.
No,
100%.
I gotta overlook the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a lot more.
And the higher you go up, the more stress.
The more stress. Yeah.
So just stay in that acquisition spot.
That's right.
Yeah, stay there. No, but seriously, it's a very big responsibility. You know, especially me. I mean, I have to look at things a certain way, and yes, if I have 5 or 6, 7 different, you know, incomes coming in, I still have to be sure that it makes sense. I don't want to just be working to work.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes you cap out. You made too much. You know, you want to go find babies on the side of the road. Can I claim you? Can I claim your kids?
Hey, dogs, turn them into
turn them into babies. Yeah, all that stuff. You know, it goes hand in hand. You know, I mean, you have to know how to claim all that stuff. And some people say, if I don't have no kids to claim, I'm not going to get a return. Yeah, you do. I have a friend that don't have no kids, and she gets 10-15 grand a year. And I was like, how the hell you do that? You know,
I have a question about that. So, because my husband and I, we claim 2, and I claim 2. But how does that work or benefit me? Should I do my taxes by myself, not with the business? Because if I do it with the business, they're not going to give me nothing.
Yeah. Well,
consult your CPA.
I know, right?
Yeah, let's do that. I'll tell you off camera what was told to me. But yeah, consult CPA. If you have a business,
counselor.
Dude,
yeah, but if you have a business, you need those things. It's like I say, insurance is important. A CPA or bookkeeper is very 100%. Important. A tax consultant advisor is important, and know to get an advisor in your field. So important, because I thought the girl that did my daycare center stuff was good for my real estate stuff. And no, I ended up paying more in penalty fees.
The daycare.
Yeah, than anything, you know? So,
like all these damn kids I take care of, and I still gotta pay for it.
I'm telling you, but this is something you got to know. You know, you don't go to, a foot doctor for what you need to see, I mean, for your vision, you have to see a specialized person, and there are specialized attorneys. Notaries are not attorneys, and tax consultants are not CPAs. Neither are bookkeepers. So
that's true.
There you go. And you've got real estate lawyers, and you've got medical, whatever lawyers. Every lawyer has a specialty, and if they're just PC, you better look for either a civil, a real estate, and they have them there, and just ask.
Yep.
And don't feel offended because you asked. You need to make sure that they can accommodate your situation.
I think the example or the analogy of the doctor is a perfect example. You're not going to go to a foot doctor for your eye doctor.
To see what your vision is.
Or a heart doctor for your brain.
Exactly.
Two totally separate things.
And that's how that's how it goes with real estate. You have all kinds of different laws, there's like a plethora of stuff just for landlords.
Yep.
There's things that you think you can do, but you can't do. There's things that, wholesalers can do and realtors can do. And it's just a lot of stuff, even lending. And that's a lot of stuff that I had to learn in each area. And that's why I say I kind of divide it up and conquer it, because if not, I'm going to be lost. I'm going to be lost. So yeah. So I think that's important.
You have to have people you can lean on that can help you through those things, because that's part of being an entrepreneur. You're going to experience things that you've never experienced.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to have those experts that you can call and say, hey, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Right.
Can you help
me?
Me?
It's true.
And that's how I was the first year. I don't know what the heck. I was just like doing it, but then you're like, dang, I need help.
Yeah.
So it's okay to ask for help.
100%.
Yeah, it is. And, sometimes, and I'm just going to be very, open-hearted and tell everybody this, like, we went through a period of time for the past maybe 3-4 years. Andrea met me and I wanted to get a house, and she wanted to get a house. She got her house and I got my house. And it was real crazy because I was always the girl right there from the little neighborhood, the hood.
I remember your house.
Yeah. And, I made it my happy home. It was the happiest place. And then we went and bought one house. And you start to realize how you're not as happy with the things that you get, kind of.
Okay.
It's kind of like a car. The other day I looked at my car and I was like, oh, this stupid ass car. I want to go get another car. And then I'm like, wait a minute. There's people buying my car today that are happy with that car. What the hell is wrong with me? So sometimes you have to fight off those demons.
You do.
You have to fight off those demons. And, when you see that happening to yourself, that you're just not happy for something, just kind of go back and reflect to what you have and what was your happiest time. And it kind of takes you back. Yeah. Reza's doing his house, and it's a 3-2 and it's a beautiful house. And I'm like, I just said this yesterday. I was like, wow, this is like the perfect floor plan versus 6 bedrooms here, 6 restrooms there, kitchen here, kitchen there. Like, why do you need so much stuff? Yeah. I had there was a point I had 3 homes. It didn't make no sense. Yeah.
You were living in 3
I'm
different
still
houses?
Not happy. Yeah.
No, I'm still not happy. I just want 3 bedroom, 2 bath. Yeah. No stairs.
No stairs.
And not a big yard to cut. Because, it's just what it is,
So it also depends what you base your happiness on. Like a lot of people, if you base your happiness on things or material things or on like your business, like, when we get a deal, we get happy, right?
For sure.
That happiness is just for when now you're chasing the next deal.
Now you're chasing.
So your happiness goes away. So one of the things I learned really quick, because I was like that, like, oh damn, this is not enough. I want more deals,
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, damn, I'm always gonna be chasing. Like, so you have to be like, be happy with them. You know what I mean? And that's where the meditation started to come in. Things I like to always watch funny things or like happy things in the morning. Get closer to God, because that's where your real happiness is definitely going to come in.
She sends them to me.
I know. I send her like messages, motivation, like God in the morning. I do. I have to really immerse myself in the morning. Like listening to the word of God, listening to things like that, just because I have so much going on. Pressure with my kids, graduating, with the business. So something's always going wrong.
For sure.
Houses, this happened, there's a leak. So it's like your mind is like, you're getting pressure in all kinds of directions. Yeah. So I have to know how to not let everything come inside of me. Like just block everything and just analyze it for what it is. Okay, this is problem here. Well, all I gotta do is fix this here.
That's good.
But kind of like break it down, because if I let everything just enter, it's kind of like if I have my own bubble, right? Like, and like you talk to people, their energy is pretty low. I don't let that energy come in.
For sure.
If someone's having a bad day and they're like, oh, this. I don't get upset, because I'm like, well, I'm sorry that you're having a bad day, but so I put like a bubble, so I don't just let anything come
That's a good way to think about it.
And but I have to start that way, because if I don't start that way, then anything's gonna come in my bubble.
For sure.
Yeah.
So just in learning how to quiet my mind too, because the mornings is like it starts to think about everything that happened yesterday wrong and all of this. How am I gonna fix it? So I learned to keep it quiet and then just kind of like just meditate on the truth, which is like, hey,
what's important?
You're gonna go through this? Is this just a little obstacle? This is it's nothing. It's not your reality or this and that. So it took time. It took time to get there. But now I'm like, come on. I eat obstacles for breakfast now. I eat problems for breakfast in the morning.
Now I know how you became such a badass.
Yeah.
I'm always telling Andrea, I'm like, dude, you're my hero because like you have all the kids, your family, your business, like you do all of that. I'm like, it's just me, and I have a business, and I'm good. Like I can't imagine having all of that.
It's a lot of work. It's pressure. I mean, there's times where I go in my little closet and I have like a little breakdown cry because it's just so much pressure.
You have to,
and like you gotta just release it because you're like, God, like how is this a way to live? But then that goes away, right? It says like I wipe my tears and I get up. Like, all right,
I got it.
Again.
I got it.
Y'all have a crying closet here?
That's next. That's next. Get a little
anybody who wants to go in the
crying closet.
I'm like, hey, you guys are ready to handle pressure. There's a
crying closet.
You're gonna take a moment, go do what you gotta do. They have this really funny video where the mom comes out and like she's telling the kids, "Hey guys, I'm just gonna go have a 45-minute in the closet." Like she's gonna
cry session.
Cry. I'll be right back out. All right. But it's funny because it's so true. Like when so much goes on, and even when you're in that closet, kids are like, "Mom, what are you doing?" Like, no, we're
go away. I'm crying.
I'm just crying.
You have to.
My cereal.
Yeah, but you have to, and you have to humble yourself. I think I saw a picture actually yesterday, and I think it was Jay-Z, and he had there was a picture of Jay-Z when he was starting, and he had all that jewelry on.
Saw that.
And then now Jay-Z is successful. Yeah, and he didn't have nothing on.
Nothing.
Just a t-shirt, jeans, and
because he knows what he is.
He knows that.
He
knows what he is. Know what you are. Find your plan, work on your mission, and work on your plan and get to your mission, however it goes. But you have to do that because we didn't get to where we were at, where we're at. I remember. You gotta
sacrifice.
Yeah.
I drove a Honda for a long time that I actually had an Escalade, a nice Escalade, red Escalade. It was the sweetest. It was like my dream car.
Yeah.
And when I realized how like dumb I was for paying so much, and I was like, well, damn, I don't even have like my portfolio. So I ended up trading it in and bought me a car, a Honda Cash, with like $3,500, and that was my car for so long. And I mean, I was making money, and they're like, dude, you're making decent money. Like, why are you not getting? I'm like, because I don't need it. Like, this Honda, and now I'm getting it back because the gas went up. So I'm like,
you're gonna drive the Honda again? Bring
that baby back. Let's relive it again, relive it. Yeah. So, but it didn't affect me because I would go around people who had all these fancy cars. And I was like, hey, I know who I am. Like, I don't have to, my car doesn't define who I am. Yeah. But it's the insecure people that feel like, oh, I have to have a nice car because I have to be level up with the same person that's next to me. Yeah. I mean, look what Cristina drives too. Like, we just they're the worst cars. Our car's actually nice. Yeah. But what I'm saying is you don't have to, material things don't define.
100%.
And I think the more you are comfortable with not showing like, oh, look, I have money or I have this, then it's like, it really shows your character, your growth there, And when people start real estate, it's like, man, that first check they want to like and buy me a chain or let me whatever it is that they do.
I was there. I probably used to walk around like Mrs. T.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I melted a lot of my gold.
Did you?
Oh God, believe me, if I got a chunk,
my mom has
I wore that much.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how my mom is, but she's just Mexican like that. Yeah. Like she wears every piece of gold, and she has a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
She's walking around just way down with
gold.
Like
that, like 3 here, and then all of this.
We're gonna go pawn your mom.
No, and then on top of that, she has a lot of it that is like she's not wearing.
She's not wearing.
I'm like, damn,
good for her.
Yeah.
She's a very smart lady.
She's a very smart lady. She's a tough lady. Sweet and tough.
Yeah.
But one of the things is that, it's putting your mind right, but have a vision. I think one day we need to get together and have a vision board.
I have mine already.
Yeah.
Yes.
But make a vision board with some people,
It's
for sure.
You have to know where you're going.
Yeah, you have to know what you're
going. And
going.
you can't lose focus on it. That's the whole thing.
And it gets cloudy in the way, but you have to stay focused. You know? Like a lot of times, sometimes I'm like, I don't even know where I'm going anymore because so much things are going in, and you're like, I was trying to hit that direction, but now I'm over here.
Yeah, we don't have schedules.
Yeah,
we're lucky if we have schedules. We were supposed to be here at 10, and I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta go do licensing today. I gotta go here.
And then they're like, I do it at 1. I'm like, but I have a closing.
She has a closing at 1, so then he was able to do 3. We're like, yes, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you,
Jesus.
all.
Yeah,
thank you, Jesus. Yeah,
thank you, because we want to keep bringing information. We like getting out there talking and bringing the information to people, and really to stop people from making a lot of mistakes.
For sure.
Not too long ago, I had to sit in court because a guy took advantage of me and a friend of mine. We had bought a property, and I was one of the ones that got caught up in that Jushway Roads.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I was at Jushway Roads.
The one where that Oriental guy, Benjamin Ustashan, he poses a title company, and they were selling a lot of houses to a lot of minorities in 026, 033, 021, and
double and triple selling them, or
no, actually selling them and posing as the as the owners.
And they were taking them from like elderly people.
Yeah, yeah,
and selling them.
And
they were not the owners.
Really?
Yeah. Y'all need to look that up. It's on Jushway Roads, JUCHWAY Roads, RHODES. So it's sad for his wife, and his family that he has to go to jail. But I was able to make it out, But all those other people. There was a lot of people in there that they did wrong, and some of these people, they didn't know. And there's still a lot of people that they didn't find. I know about 4 of them that they sold them houses, because I think it was a total like
400.
400.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And
holy cow.
Yeah. So it was a bunch of people, and it's sad because this is a guy that would shake all our hands. He was in the whole environment of us, and doing that. And I guess he didn't think it was going to go that far, but you do wrong, you're going to pay.
Of course. Eventually it's going to catch up to you.
Yeah. And
eventually it'll catch up to you.
And I know I didn't get any restitution to it, and none of the other people got restitution.
Well, yeah, 400 people. There's not going to be anything.
There's not going to be anything to restitute. Yeah. And so, all those people were already waiting, like, in 7 years or 3 years and 7 years, he's supposed to come up, and they're going to, they're already like calendaring.
A lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people lost their houses. It's like me when I was working on the house.
I was going to say, I did see the post when they post about them, and they were like, oh, I think they give them a lot of time.
No, they didn't give them a lot of time. No,
but it's like, damn, did you realize how much people
he didn't do it to one person or 2 people, 300 to 400 families, kids.
That's how you get killed.
Yeah, seriously, because we gave him every opportunity to come clean and just pay me back, but they offered me like 10 grand, and I was like, no, and then that's where my friend was like, I wonder how many people he did this to. I said, well, let me look. And so I searched his name, and I searched the guy, and I searched everything, and I found them. And so it was like, okay, it's time to, time to take things into, different situation. Yeah. Make it. It was crazy. It was crazy.
I think they made a movie, right?
I don't know. Did they?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they didn't tell me to get on it.
It's on Netflix. Is that lady, remember that she takes all those houses from those elderly?
Oh, I care.
And then she ends up doing it to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And the mom's son is a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's like, hey, what's going on with my mom? They're like, well, she left and all this. So he starts digging deep, and then starts having them follow. And I don't know what happens at the end, but I started watching the beginning.
Yeah.
But what happens at the end?
Well, okay. So this, okay. Well, with Josh Rhodes, what ended up happening was, what all came to light is Benjamin, he was a debarred attorney, and he posed as a title company, and he would have Jushway sit in as an heir to a property that was just there. Yeah. So the way I found out so fast was because Jason Fane came over there and said, he was the owner. I was like, how the hell are you the owner? I'm the owner. So I had paper, he had paper, and I called the cops out. They're like, well, this is civil. And so, I just finally backed off. I mean, I wanted to fight and go crazy. Those were in my times. Mm-hmm. And even Fabian sat me and Jason down, and I mean, I was rude. I was pissed.
Yeah, you guys.
I said, make sure you're not shaking my hand with the one you write with, because you screw me over, I'm gonna cut it off. And it wasn't even his fault, But you're mad because you don't know who's cheating you.
Yeah.
Right.
So. And I probably owe him an apology for that one.
If you're listening,
if you're listening, Jason, sorry. Yeah, but truthfully, it ended like that. So he ends up getting 30 years.
I thought it was 40 years.
30 to 40, something like that. And luckily, the wholesaler that brought it to me, he didn't go to jail, but he brought me the deal.
Did he know it was bad or no?
He claimed he didn't know. Maybe he didn't, and maybe he did. But, he just brought the buyer. And then it went from there. It's shady, but you can't prove anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Daryl Brown. So,
the naming of
it's not slander, because it's the
Exactly.
truth. And I want everybody not to go through what I went through, because not every deal that glitters is gold.
Right.
100%.
It's not.
100%.
It's not. And make sure go to that's why, everybody's telling me, well, you can go to this title company. I'm Erie. That's why everybody's like, you got to work with me or whatever. And I don't mind, but that's why I work, with Cristina. She's been my best friend since elementary, so
the trust is there.
The trust is there. And you really have to prove yourself to me to gain my trust. In that way. No, you shouldn't have to prove yourself to nobody, but
for sure.
In business,
yeah, for sure,
you have to.
You have to, because
everything.
Yeah, because I trusted this person, and I went in blind-eyed, and look what happened.
Got you tied up in a huge mess.
And I thought it was a real title company because he had Commonwealth papers. Yeah, and it became. I think his might become federal. Not too sure, but I know that it's all wrapped
he's
up
going
in
to
there.
jail for sure.
Oh, they're all going to jail.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
Everybody, but thank God, well, not thank God, but everybody so far, thus the wholesaler. Yeah, because he really wasn't in the transaction.
He didn't know what was going on.
No,
he probably didn't.
I could.
I'm sure they're not going to tell the wholesaler.
No,
they're
not.
This is how it's going.
We're screwing all these people.
Yeah,
bringing buyers.
Yeah. So so it was crazy, and that was one of my buyers out of Florida. That the guys I was working with at that time presented that deal to him, and it just went crazy. Wow. And the worst thing is when you're working with a buyer from out of town, and they come in and you just screw it all up for them. And he was able to get paid on it. He was one that got paid out of it, but I didn't. And I think because I really didn't want to settle for the 10, I was like, no, because I had a partner in it, and I was like, no, I need to pay her. I ended up paying her, but that means I was out 3 times.
Jeez.
But I so it just turned into a mess. So I just
that just goes to prove, though, if you do enough deals, and you do enough volume, you're eventually going to run into something that is kind of weird or wonky, or somebody's doing bad.
Yeah. There's another thing is heirs. When you're dealing with heirs, sometimes they won't tell you about that sister.
100%.
Happened to me.
And right now we're also blended.
Lawsuit for that.
Yeah, and we're also blended. Everybody. Some have. Brothers and sisters have all kinds of different last names, or it just mom got married 2 times. And here comes this stepsister.
Yep.
And you don't know, and so that is something that can be an issue. And you just have to make sure.
Because I'm actually going through a lawsuit because of that.
You're still going through that one?
Mm-hmm. Well, I have 2 that I'm going through, but that one was one of them that it was the seller who lied.
Yeah,
and
that happens all the time.
Now we're getting we're getting sued for our assignment fee, but the seller's getting sued for that. But we're not budging.
Well, you don't.
Well,
You're not
my fault.
You're not guilty till proven. That's it.
You got to watch it. Yeah. So we've started using Ancestry a lot.
Yeah.
And checking people.
Okay.
Because we don't want to get tied up in something to where.
See, that's good. I wasn't using Ancestry. I was using like a PI, but
PIs are great.
Yeah.
So, but Ancestry is probably cheaper.
Yeah. I actually use iFile.
What is that?
iFile, it's Texas File. It's actually free, and you pay for the documents you need.
Okay.
And I've gone because of the way we bought properties by owner.
I think I've seen iFile.
Yeah. You can well, when we were all doing it, we were doing Texas File. When we were me, you, Ophelia, whatever, we were doing a Texas File because you're able to see the actual documents that were filed. Even Social Security numbers are on there because that's the way they used to do it.
Yeah.
And I think you're able to go back, like some of them or depend on how they filed it. I've gone back to 64. 1964. We're in the 20s now. 1964. And that's Texas File, guys. Write that down. That has really been able to save me from a lot of mess.
I can imagine.
Texas File.
People will lie to you.
Oh yeah,
if there's money involved, people will lie.
Yeah, and I had a relative come back that claimed the property on one that I did. I paid the lady like $35,000 cash, and one relative tried to come out, but it was $30,000 for 3 heirs, and there was an heir missing. So I said, well, I can give you equal value, or you can buy me out with everything I put in it. And so far, he's kind of like backed out, like, okay, well, they all agree, but it's still that one signature is 100%. Needed, so sometimes they'll just come back and agree with whatever. It just depends.
They're just upset because they were left out.
Yeah, but they didn't go do it over there. I paid what I had to pay, but yeah, so it's very title's important. Yeah, because it's not yours if it's not yours,
For sure.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all something.
Yeah.
Kind of different topic.
No, go ahead.
So, we go through right here.
So we go through. I'm going through this right now with somebody. So let's say you contract a property with somebody and you line up a buyer.
Okay.
You're ready to go. You're going to make a 20K spread on it. Let's say that seller then comes back to you because he didn't know that he had child support issues.
Okay.
And he owes like $60,000 in child support issues. And when he goes to sell this property that he inherited, they're going to take $60,000 out.
Okay.
And now he wants to cancel, but you've already lined everything up. You're ready to close.
There are non-performing.
Yeah, they're not performing. What would you do though?
Well, I would suggest to do like a seller finance because they're not going to be able. Well, then they still have to get that
lien off. True. Yeah. So tell him stop being a sorry ass daddy.
What I would support. We've had that happen.
Would you pursue him or no?
Well, I would pursue, but maybe.
Does he live in there?
No.
Maybe. Okay, then I'd pursue.
Okay, it's an inherited property, extra property.
I'd pursue.
Well, why don't you come?
He needs to pay his child support.
Why don't you come in agreement and just be like, hey, I probably shouldn't say this live, right?
I said he needs to pay child support.
Well, yeah, but he's not, right? So I would be like, hey, look, why don't we act like we're gonna buy the house cheaper from you? So that means you're gonna give them less. And then the rest I'll give you. But then that's kind of like
I'd leave that on the very up and up because it will always bite you in the ass.
Yeah, I don't want to get involved with the attorney general.
No, yeah.
But I mean, it won't show because you're buying the house for that price, so that's what's gonna show. But it gets a little bit more complicated.
I think that gets too sticky because then if somebody were to come back and say, another baby mama comes.
Yeah.
Because that can come out later. This is just for one baby mama.
Yeah, this is actually for multiple, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Jesus. Well, then hopefully they're all in there.
So what are you going to do, though? I mean, what if he never sells?
Well, so that's what I'm at right now.
I mean, he's not going to sell because he doesn't want to pay that.
Right. I'm at the point, do I go enforce the contract and lawyer up and go do that whole thing or not? What's the spread, right?
Yeah.
It's a 20K spread.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth the headache.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not worth the headache. I'd probably stick a memorandum on it.
Definitely have a memorandum on it.
Then don't worry about it. Let it play. Yeah, whenever he pays and he's ready to pay.
He's not gonna pay. Those people, man, when it comes to men and child support, they don't pay.
Yeah. Well,
they don't pay.
It kind of sucks because one day, I mean,
Well,
whatever might happen to him,
to his daughter.
You can't.
No.
When it gets real sticky.
Like a gift
it gets real sticky because it gets real sticky because
I try to find a solution.
Because like me, I can't sell a property. Like I could sell a property to my daughter, and her what do you call it? Her company. But when they look at the names, it gets sticky. You know what I'm saying? They're like, well, why are you washing money?
A deed gift or a gifted deed or something?
Right now, they want all the money they can get. It's not as easy to gift anything like it used to be.
Really?
It's not as easy. When it comes out, believe me, when it comes out, when it rains, it pours. Yeah. It's not something that I've learned. Like I said, not everything that glitters is gold. Not something that's going to haunt you later, because look at what, that assignment that you got and then the attorneys and all that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What it's really costing you. And now, if I was
lawsuits
doing,
are
long. They're long and your name's on there because I can look up your name. And if you're trying to get a private money lender and they're like, wait, she's in all these lawsuits.
Yeah.
I can explain.
I can explain. You see what had happened was.
What happened was.
Yeah. So I think I would just play it real clean, because who knew? I bet you Jushue probably didn't know all that was going to happen. He probably thought I'm just sitting in here getting paid $3,000 for this dude. $3,000 is what he got paid off of me to do 40 years.
Not worth it.
I mean, that's just off me and then the other people. But I felt bad for the guy. Like, damn, And it's not like he's hurting. He has a lot of property and all kinds of stuff himself.
You think he may want to sell now?
Hey, I don't know. I don't know.
His information.
Right?
Yeah. Right. Well, actually, what happened was the way I found him was he was bragging to some friends, and I've always been from like Irvington Court Hood, that knew him, that knew me. And they were saying, oh yeah, so-and-so's wife, she went and bought a property for me and and then it came back. And I'm talking about he lives in Alvin or Orange, Texas, and I'm over here, and it just it just revolved,
Wow.
When you don't do bad to people and you've always been somebody that is there for another person, they'll let you know.
For sure.
They'll let you know.
For
and
sure.
And it was in his own conversation and they recorded him and let me hear it. And that's when I got pissed.
Wow.
I said, this guy ain't even sorry. So
of course he's not.
No, he's not even sorry.
Probably only sorry because he got caught.
Because he got caught. Yeah. Sad. But
everybody's sorry then.
Yeah, everybody's sorry then. Man, when I was up there talking, I was like
in the court?
Yeah, because yes, well, who is he? And I'm like,
you had to point him out?
Yeah, I had to point him out. And I'm like, damn, And I always refer people like to somebody that they look like, what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, when I met him, I told all of them, I said, damn, that boy got some big old LL Cool J lips. He's like, and I promise you, that day I told that lady, I can tell you, he looks like he don't have his hat on, but I imagined him with a hat, and I was like LL Cool J.
LL Cool J.
That was him. Yep, and there he was. And so I was like, damn. Yeah, because the picture in the lineup that he had from a previous situation.
They had a lineup
I couldn't recognize him, but until I so because everybody looks different.
You're like, where you at, LL Cool J?
Yeah, shoot, I've seen some of these filters. They get mad when I go to some places. They're like, it's me.
I'm like, put the filters up really quick.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't recognize you. But the crazy thing is, you kind of feel bad because some people think, taking these shortcuts, it's not worth it.
Yeah,
but
it'll bite you.
Yeah, but if it was a $50,000-$60,000 assignment, I'd say go for it. But 20.
Yeah, it's not really worth it.
It's really not worth
your time. The only person's going to win is an attorney.
That's
what I say all the time. They're the only ones making money.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's one of the things there. But I just say document everything, document it all and throw your memorandum and leave it there. Because one day he's going to get needy and he's going to want to sell and he's probably going to owe more in child support at that time.
They do, man. The IRS triples that.
Shit.
Next year's going to be like freaking the double 120.
Girl, you could probably work more with the IRS than what you can with child support.
It's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry with the IRS.
Yeah.
IRS is not, they'll negotiate with you.
IRS will negotiate, but not child support. You owe it, especially if the kids had Medicaid.
Oh yeah,
any of that.
And they got Medicaid.
And girl, they will put a Medicaid lien on your properties if you could have had insurance for your kids.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So what do you say? Like if whoever is getting Medicaid, if they could have had insurance instead?
Yeah, like I have a family member.
Or like you're lying about getting Medicaid?
Yeah, like say the girl. Okay, y'all baby daddies, this is for y'all. Okay, so let's say the girl goes and get Medicaid and TANF or whatever. TANF and Medicaid is added up like one price. So if you spent like $80,000 between the Medicaid and the insurance and all that, that's what they're charging one of my family members in total.
Oh, child support.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened to this guy.
Okay, that's why it was so high.
That's why it's so high.
So they added it all together.
They added it all together.
One thing. Whatever he used on Medicaid, whatever he used. And believe me, Medicaid, they don't get, I've worked in a doctor's office and we'll send a bill out for $4,000 and we'll get paid like $1,800.
Yep.
But guess what the bill said? $4,000.
Yep.
And so that can add up real quick. Kid needs tonsils. Kid needs ear tubes. Yep. Kid got sick. He broke his arm. All that adds up as a money figure to the TANF. So if she got food stamps, if she got rentals, everything comes under what the government paid, and they want their money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't feel bad at all then.
No. No, guys, y'all need to be responsible. I bet y'all feel sorry for my baby daddy. Yeah, but no, I have great baby daddies. They're great. In plural. Yeah, there's two.
Like
there's two. They're great, and I even tell old baby daddy that I love baby mama because she's perfect. She fit right in with us and we're good. So
blended family.
Yeah, and sometimes when people start making money, they start treating the ex like shit.
Yeah,
I didn't get that, but one of the things is that you gotta still remember you have family. You have a family, and no $200 ain't gonna cover shit. I give that B, $300-$400. I look at them like I'm gonna slap the shit out of you.
That's not even gas money.
That ain't even diapers and wipies. Yeah, no, like my son's a single dad, and it's tough. He called me last night. He's like, "Mom, it's hard." I said, "I know, baby. How you think I did with all four of y'all's asses? You'll be okay."
No sympathy.
You're gonna be okay. You keep on making them children.
Keep on making them babies.
Nah, I got beautiful grandkids. But when it comes down to child support, you got to take care of these kids. They're our next generation.
For sure.
And you want to know why we got kids out there robbing and stealing and doing stuff. It's because some of these, individuals aren't taking their responsibility.
Yeah. And not only financially, but in parenting too.
In parenting. We're all out of real estate.
We're way out of real estate.
They said them damn man haters.
They went from talking with no money, now they're trying to take somebody else's money.
Yeah, there you go. No, but you got to see where. Yeah, that's what we do here. We just got.
So
we got
to buy real estate with no money down.
Yeah, take care of your credit,
pay your child support.
No, because you know what? In real estate,
your baby mama.
Yeah, pay your baby mama. The thing is that in real estate, you hit up on every single situation.
Yes,
you come across it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
I
was telling her last time I told you that with this one we're dealing. The guy said the wife was dead and did a funeral and everything. She was
alive.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because he wanted to get the money.
No.
Yeah, so
what?
I'm like, man,
a fake death certificate and everything?
Well, he faked a fake
fake
funeral.
Death. Yeah,
like
fake
funeral. I don't know how he did the death certificate, but it was a funeral.
He showed an obituary?
I'm not sure how it is, but I'm talking to the wife that supposedly died. So I'm like,
did y'all close?
Well, no, we're dealing with him. We can't find the husband now. So we gotta find.
Maybe he's dead.
He skipped town.
I think something happened. Dang. So yeah.
It's never a dull moment.
So if you guys know of any story like that and know where the husband's at,
there you
go. It's never a dull moment.
No, man, but I thank you really for coming over here and talking with us and kicking the shit with us because that's what we like to do.
I was just excited to come hang out with you.
She's so funny.
And come sit with crazy Cristina.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've enjoyed it, and thank you all so much for inviting me to come do this. It really was an honor to come and hang out with you all and
thank you.
Get to talk to you. I got to interview Cristina a little bit.
I know. I get to interview her every day.
Yeah, she does. No, but it's great, and we want to bring things like this to everybody because you kind of remember things better in cool, calm conversation.
Yeah.
Versus going somewhere and trying to learn in a full-fledged seminar. You don't always learn like that. You always remember what that crazy broad said.
It's true. It's true.
And that's what it is. It's what it is. And whenever we say things, just take it for what it is, and know that shit happens. There's things you can do. It's going to continue to happen. I promise I won't drink anymore before I come on here because I'm all cotton mouth. Eyes fall asleep. No, but it's good, and that's what we want to do. We just want to be relatable. We have a couple of live events that we sponsored and we're going to be attending. And you have one coming up too, don't you?
I do. I have one on the 19th. So we have the real estate roundup. We do it in the Heights every month.
Okay.
The third Thursday of every month.
Okay. Is there a fee for it?
There's no fee.
Okay, so y'all need to show up.
Y'all need to come out. This month we have Derek Acuff coming and talking about how he's leveraging social media to get deals.
Oh God, yeah.
Derek is great.
Yeah.
So
I haven't met him yet.
It's a lot of heavy hitters come out.
Okay.
So we have a really great networking event where people are actually doing a lot of deals. It's not just newbies.
Yeah.
Right.
When you go to other networking events, it's a lot of newbies.
Yeah.
This one, it's a lot of people who are active players in the industry.
Okay.
So come out.
Yeah, and he does hang with a lot of heavy hitters. So there you go.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
I hang out with Andrea.
Andrea walks around with a bat. Boom, boom, boom. She hits those doors.
I'm in that door. I know you're in there.
So where is it going to be at? It's May 19th.
May 19th.
Mayo 19.
Yep, in the Heights.
In the Heights.
It's Heights Boulevard and I-10.
Okay, which one is it? What's the name of the place?
It's a mediation. I actually have mediation there with the lawsuit I was going through.
It's a mediation center.
Now when I showed up, I was like,
mediation center.
So like where we have it at is in our office building. And
Okay.
we office in the Heights Mediation Center.
Okay.
And they've got a big room downstairs that we do the event in.
Okay, so if y'all need the address,
I'll post a link.
Well, he'll post a link. There you go.
Link.
Go ahead, sign in, post a link, because they also need to know how many people are coming. If you get to go to free events to talk to people like J.R. Reed and some of these people, you really want to go. You really want to go. And like I said, Andrea and I, we take time out of our day, out of our week to actually do this. And we really appreciate when you guys come out.
I know. I really like it.
We've had
it's
a great
like
response.
Fun time.
Yeah. It's really good. We've had Wilmy, we've had Jonathan. Your cousin, we had Junior, and now J.R. Reed. We've had a good, and that's a lineup, but we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. And we're doing pretty good for not doing good.
Yeah, we put them in the hot seat. You pay your child support. Well, guys, thank you so much. I hope to see you guys over May 19th. And he's going to put the link, and let's see if we can all network together. If you've got a relative that's trying to sell a house, if you are trying to sell a house, or you want to go ahead and refi or do something, let us know. If you want to start investing, reach out to any of the three. We're all on the panel.
There you go.
All right. Talk to you.